Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the sound system demo of the 2022 BMW X3 and its 16-speaker Harman Kardon audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works. Oh, stop that. The gesture control is already getting in the way here. Come on, just get playing again. What a pain. Anyway, we're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at audio adjustments, controls, inputs, speaker locations, then we're going to head out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. If you don't want to hear any of that stuff at the beginning, you just want to hear the music, click ahead in the video. We've got chapters to get you right to the tunes. And I recommend listening with headphones so that way you can hear exactly what I'm hearing here in the driver's seat. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. This is actually the X3M competition, meaning it's the top dog BMW X3, and because of the chip shortages going on here in 2022, it's one of the few X3 models that you can actually get the Harman Kardon audio system in. We actually had an X3 M40i not too long ago, and that didn't have the Harman Kardon. So I'm sure later on, once sort of the supply chains balance out a little bit, you'll be able to get Harman Kardon systems in more X3s. But for right now, you kind of got to pony up to these big ones in order to get that. And the car goes out of diagnostic mode when we get out, so we got to spam the start button to get it going again. But anyway, we always do these tests with lossless, uncompressed WAV files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality Roland binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set to their factory default, so let's take a look at those now. Still got iDrive 7 in the X3, even in the facelifted model, and I am quite okay with that. I've always been a big fan of this infotainment screen. You can control it using the center rotary knob or simply touch it. We're in the media screen right now. If you do want to see more on how this system works, check the links in the description. We've got an infotainment review shot by Christopher Brower. Let's go over to sound settings. We have a reset function, which we've already utilized, and that gives us a Logic 7 surround on right now, activated. Let's go through and turn that on and off. Now, I prefer the sound of the system with surround off. It sounds too hollow and fake with it on, but that's how it's technically designed by the Harman Kardon and BMW audio engineers. So we'll test with it on some and then maybe test with it off some as well. But let's go through the surround, treble, and bass adjustments as well. The cool thing about BMWs, especially in these Harman Kardon systems, is if treble and bass is not enough for you, you can scroll down and you get a full-fledged 9-band equalizer. I think every premium audio system should have this, especially in a luxury vehicle, so you can really mess up your sound exactly how you want and do some pretty dramatic shifting, and that's important for tuning it just to each individual's preferences. Then you've got front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance, and that is it for controls. For adjustments, for audio controls here in the X3, got a nice volume knob here, it's some good reach. Also got volume buttons on the right side of the steering wheel, which is where I think they should be. For track selection, you can use these buttons here. You can use the touch screen or rotary knob if you're on the proper screen. You can use the steering wheel controls, either back and forth here or this rotary knob to slide through playlists. Or you can use the gesture controls, and I guess technically you could do that for volume too. So you saw right there, if I go like this, that goes through tracks, and if I go like this, that'll turn the volume up or down. If you use two fingers, it'll pause. Sometimes they can be annoying if you're someone who talks with their hands a lot, especially while shooting YouTube videos, but I do actually find gesture controls kind of useful when I'm just driving the car by myself. Audio inputs in the X3. You've got your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, some news streaming, Spotify built in, that's going to be nice for a lot of people. USB-C in the center console there, and USB-A up here. Bluetooth, wireless and wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and that's it. So what does that mean you're missing? Well, you don't have a 3.5mm auxiliary input jack. I don't think that's the end of the world. Other than that, you got pretty much everything you're going to want here in 2022. Speaker locations. As I said, this is a 16 speaker system. There are a few speaker locations I couldn't 100% verify, but I'm pretty confident in where they are. So starting in the bottom left, you've got a mid-ranger here, tweeter up there, 3 subwoofer right under the seat, 4, 5 mid-range and tweeter up front, 6, 7, 8 over on the other side. Coming into the back, 9, 10 tweeter in mid-range, 11, 12 on the other side, and then 13, 14, 15, 16 tweeter and mid-ranges in the D-pillars. No subwoofer in the trunk on this model. That's something that you're starting to see on the Harman Kardon systems in the new i4, and I think we saw that in the iX as well, if I'm not mistaken. But subwoofers under the seat for this car. Alright, well, if you want to see how Android Auto and Apple CarPlay work, check the link in the description for our infotainment demo. But we're going to get out on the road and listen to these sample tracks at 70 miles per hour. My biggest complaint with this system is the hollowness, is every one of those snare drum hits or the guitar, the boominess coming from kind of this just upper in front of you sound isn't being filled in nicely with highs and lows. It's not harsh on the ears, so it's not offensive by any means. It's just not satisfying. It doesn't feel super well balanced. It's not as bad as the 3 Series, but it's definitely still noticeable. For this next song, we'll turn the bass all up, all the way up, and see what these under-seat woofers are worth. I've always been a fan of the BMW under-seat woofers because even though you don't get that window-shattering bass that you might get from a rear-bass subwoofer, it helps just the music when you're listening at a nice volume. It helps it feel full. So, yeah, you big bass heads are probably not going to be super satisfied. You're going to want a subwoofer in the back. But for people who like well-balanced, non-bass heavy music, I think you'll be really satisfied. On the 16-speaker Harman Kardon system here in the BMW X3M. It's strong, but not super fulfilling and well balanced. And I'm really on the fence between B tier and A tier because there are things I really appreciate about the system, such as the 9-band equalizer, such as the way you can do the knob and the touch screen, and how easy the system is to use, the various inputs. I really appreciate a lot about the system. I just don't love the sound that it produces. And I know I could tweak the settings and get it better for my preferences, but we evaluate systems based on their stock EQ because that's how the sound engineers think it should sound the best. And to give it an A would be to devalue the A tier rating, and I think that takes away from some of the cars that have earned the impressiveness of an A tier. So it's a B+. It's strong. I think when you're talking luxury system, people are going to be expecting a little bit more, but it's absolutely a worthwhile upgrade from the 12-speaker system that comes in the lower trim X3s. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the X3 and the X3M in particular, check the links in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.